Hello. Hi, guys out there in the internet. This is by far the weirdest show I've ever done in my fucking life. Yep. Tell the kids, go to bed. If you're live streaming this now and you got kids, you don't want to hear them hear words that are considered naughty by your ears, tell them to go. I don't want to get these guys in trouble. New Scotland has been very pleasant to me to allow me to do this for you guys. I hope you're out there staying safe. I hope you guys are all home and with people you like and having drinks you like and food, all that good shit. This is what the world is now. This is not much different than any comedy night in Toronto. This is, as you will hear, there is a laugh track because I got that Big Bang Theory ego, and I got to be able to hear something to know when shit's going wrong. So you will hear that throughout the night, and you know when to laugh now too. This is very fun for me. I've not been on stage literally in a month, so I may be very rusty at this. I wasn't able to walk 2 days ago. I tore ligaments in my sleep. That's where my life's going at. But this is very fun for me. I'm happy to be here. I will be drinking throughout this, so you will see me get gradually more and more drunk. Other than that, thank you for watching. And now, we can get to the show. Yeah. It's weird that, we're on lockdown now in a time where it's never been more easier to have fun, but I don't feel like anyone's having fun. A lot of people are comparing this to, prison and shit now, which is, ridiculous to me. That people are like, oh, I can't believe I'm locked in my house with, Netflix and Disney Plus and every video game I could ever want and every book I want at the touch of a button. And everyone's like, this is a nightmare. This is prison. It's good. I don't know why. I get that it's hard to have fun, but it's not impossible to have fun, which is what bugs me. I get that it's I'm drinking right now, and I get that that's not really fun anymore for me. Now it's just sort of habit. It's something I'm allowed to do. I'm 27 years old. I can drink when I want. And I feel like I take that for granted. And I feel like that's not why it's not so much fun for me. I get now, weed's legal. Weed's legal. For years, people complained that, oh, weed should be legal. Weed should be legal. Legalize marijuana. It's a plant that comes from the ground. And then they legalized it. And nobody's happy. Still, nobody's fucking happy. With weed being legal, everyone's still grumpy. And then first I want to be like, fuck you. But at the same time, I get it. Once something becomes legal, it's not as fun. It's not as fun. The moment I became 19, this slowly became less and less fun. I realize now it used to be so much fun to drink when I was in high school and that, because why? Because I literally had to plan a bank heist every goddamn weekend if I wanted to get boozed. You literally would just save up your money. You would save up you wouldn't eat lunch for an entire week hoping to get a bottle of Keith or some sourpuss or some shit. And you would hopefully find someone's older big brother or sister to buy that for you. And then you would obtain this alcohol after this pulled off Ocean's 11 heist. But then you'd get to the real trouble because you'd be like, well, where are we going to drink it? And when you're underage, you only have 3 options when it comes to drinking. Option 1, the woods. But winter comes and someone gets too drunk and wants to play grounder somewhere, so that's not a good time. That guy knows what I'm talking about. Snort number 1 of the night. Drink every time I do it. You will get drunk much faster. Option 2, a host with no parents in it. That's a go figure. But of course, everyone has a host party. Someone gets too drunk. By that point, you're drinking by mob rules. No cops, no ambulance, no nothing. You just throw that person in the tub, splash some water on them. They'll be okay in the morning. And then option 3, which is the scariest option of them all, that's a host with parents in it that are okay with you drinking. Do you remember these psychos? Well, we'd rather have you do it out in here than on the streets. I'm 17, Trish. Pass that joint, though. You will hear a nice mix of real laughter and fake laughter, which I think it's like a Comedy Now special. That's an inside joke for comedians. No, but this is fun. This happened literally at the weirdest time for me because I was going on stage up until this point talking about how hard it was for me to write material because I felt things were going too good. So with all this shit going on, I should be really funny in about 6 months. So hang in there with this stuff. But I felt like my life was going too good. Here's my most recent trouble before coronavirus and all this shit. This was the problem I had in life. I was out to brunch with my girlfriend. right there, you hear that, you go, yeah, life's going good, Travis. You're paying fucking 30 extra bucks to sleep till 11 a.m.? Yes, I am. It's dope. I love my life. I was out there, and I was trying to get brunch, and I was out there with my girlfriend, and we go to get brunch, and I saw on the menu that they had chicken and waffles, and I got excited and disappointed all at the same time. I got excited because, like, oh, yeah, I've never really had chicken and waffles. I would like to try it. And then I got bummed out because, like, I can't order chicken and waffles being a black guy. Chances are my waitress is going to be white, and I can't order. If you're white and watching this stream right now, you live a lovely life where you just go out and you order whatever you want. No consequences asked. You can dip into every toe. It's white power, am I right? You can order whatever you want. But, like, for me, I got to be conscious of that shit. Like, I don't know if you guys know, movie theater sells Kool-Aid. They sell Kool-Aid. I've 27 years of playing. I've never been able to order Kool-Aid because I can't order because in my head I feel like I'm going to be like, I'll get Kool-Aid. And then, like, the employee, like, goes back and looks at another employee. It's like, yeah, they really do be like that, huh? Like, I can't. I got to represent every other black person when I go out in public. So, like, I saw chicken and waffles and I was like, fuck, I'm just going to have to get Eggs Benedict again. The whitest dish you can get at goddamn brunch. It's even got a whiter name than you could ever imagine. Benedict. That sounds like a trust fund, baby. So, like, I was like, okay, I'll get Eggs Benedict. But then I lucked out because my server was black. And I was like, goddamn, I'm getting chicken and waffles today. So I said, I'll get the chicken and waffles. And then my server looked at me and went, okay, I'm going to tell you this, which is no way that any server should ever start a sentence to you. That sounds like you're in trouble for ordering chicken and waffles. I thought she had, like, looked at my white girlfriend and been like, you can't be ordering that shit in front of her. Like, I didn't know what was going on there. So I was like, oh, okay. She's like, we're out of chicken and waffles. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Please end the sentence there. Because we've all been there. We've all ordered food and been like, they're out. And you're like, okay, I'll get something else then. And, like, through your teeth, you're like, should have been here a half hour earlier. Could have got this shit. But she goes, I'm going to tell you this. We can't give you chicken and waffles because we're out of chicken and waffles. And we're out of chicken and waffles because before my shift started, I came in here and I had the last of the chicken and waffles. Don't fucking tell me that. Don't let me know it's you. Before it was an anonymous face I was angry at. Now it's like, now I have to eat this and go, that's the person that ate my goddamn chicken. How am I supposed to tip you 15% when you ate 100% of my fucking waffles? So I just had to get Eggs Benedict. And then when she walked away, I looked at my girlfriend. I was like, huh, they really do be like that, huh? This is weird. This is way more fun than I expected. I'll be on. I'll break the fourth wall right now. This is actually very nice and therapeutic for me. I've missed being on stage in a matter of days. I lost all my income because of canceled shows. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's the thing to cheer. I mean, yeah, same boat as every fucking other person. So you guys get it. So, you know, I think there is a PayPal thing there. If you'd like to donate, if you laugh tonight and you're like, let me throw this guy. This is my busker speech that I'm going to give you guys now. I'm not going to give you one at the end of the show for a swallow fire or some bullshit. I'm just going to say, if you'd like to donate, you're having a good time. You've escaped for a couple minutes. Please feel free to donate. If not, just, like my Instagram and shit. I got an album. You can check that out, too. I just want people out there to be having a good time while this stuff's going on. Other than that, I will go on with the rest of my show. This is not how I expected the world to end. As I just told you, I hope you guys escape. I still don't think that's it. I think this has really actually probably been good for the world. I don't know if you guys saw, but like you can see like mountains from India for the first time in forever now, and there's coyotes running in like urban streets. So I feel like nature is like, fuck you, let us have a minute. And I'm happy for that. And I think it's a nice reset button for everyone else. I hope everyone exits this a little more chilled than they've been. Because for a while it was scary. I think before this happened, 2020's biggest fear was like, oh, World War III is going to break out. I don't know if you guys saw, but World War III was trending on Twitter. So that's like, that means it's pretty legit. So like that means we're going to war soon. But I saw that, and everyone, the way they responded to like World War III, I was like, oh, if World War III does break out, North America specifically, we're fucked. Like we're World War III was like trending, and other countries were like getting ready to go to war, and we were like, I gotta get a good meme for this shit. What's a good picture to describe how I'm feeling on World War III? Like no one was taking this shit. There's kids in the Ukraine doing pull-ups on rusty monkey bars, and like we're just like, I gotta get that Denzel gift of being like, whew, I thought something happened to World War III for a minute, but turns out it's okay. Like I thought like it was a weird time, and like if you're like, no, we're not going to go. Like, if you're in Canada, our prime minister bought donuts that weren't from Tim Hortons, and this country almost broke down into like a debate over him not buying Tim Hortons donuts. Meanwhile, I saw a video of the president of Costa Rica. Bee flew in his mouth. He didn't blink one goddamn time. Bee flew in his mouth. You're sitting home right now. If anything went zzz past your head, you're closing your laptop and moving out of your house. Fuck social distancing at that point. You're not scared of shit. Not only did he swallow the bee, it went in his mouth, he chewed it and then went, pure protein. He made a goddamn joke after a bee flew in his mouth. Not just a bee, a wasp. The spiciest of all the fucking bees. The ghost pepper of bees. And this nigga just shook it off like it was no big deal. Oh, God. Wow, I didn't realize how much I needed this. Oh, God. I think the moment I realized that we were screwed if World War III broke out is the moment I started seeing board games in bars. That was the moment I was like, oh, we're too relaxed. We're not ready. We're not ready for this shit. Like, we're way too comfortable now where people want to go out and like play a game of Boggle and shit. That's not a thing that you should be able to, you should not feel comfortable. Like, the reason you go out to a bar and drink in the first place is probably because you didn't have family game night growing up, and now it's being rubbed in your face before the night even starts. Like, it's a miserable You don't need board games to go out and have fun. You don't need to play bananagrams and get a pint. That's not a thing that needs to coincide together. Like, you're out drinking. That's the board game. That's the entire game right there. It's like multiple board games into one. You got to get a bunch of people together. So you round as many friends as you can. There's usually one that doesn't want to be there, like Catan. And then you go out and you start drinking and you start throwing back shots and you're just sinking them one by one like Battleship. And then you're pulling out brain cells one at a time like it's Scrabble. Then you got to like piece the words together. You're so drunk and hammered that you're like, oh, what am I gonna do? What next? Well, there's only two options when you've been drinking. One, you either find someone to go home with, find a partner for Twister, or you go and get food because you're a bunch of hungry hippos. And what are you going to get if you're hungry? Poutine, pizza, street meat? Fuck it. I'm so drunk at this point, my money's like Monopoly money. I'm just going to get it all. There's no regrets here. Or you take someone home. You get them home. You get ready to go down to business. You're going to take them to Candyland. It's a disgusting euphemism for sex, but it's the only way you could shoehorn Candyland into this goddamn bit, so that's where it's coming in. 3 to 5 minutes later, Yahtzee, you succeeded. Boom, you got to the goalpost. You wake up the next morning with a thank you note and a hangover trying to piece together stuff like Pictionary, but the only thing you know for certain is like, I'm never playing this fucking game again, because you got a ringing in your ear like you just hit the sides in operation. But you're like, yeah, I'm going to go out and drink again. Why? Because there's no losers in this game. There's no consequences, right? Because 9 months later, guess who? Yeah, it's Twister partner, and they got a baby now. Whose baby's that? Well, I'll give you a clue. It wasn't because of Colonel Mustard in the kitchen with a candlestick. It was you and your dirty dick at the dome. So now you got a 9-month, 18-year commitment to make. What are you going to do? Oops, sorry, that's life. No, you can really tell I've not been on stage in a month. This is, I want to say this is the weirdest show. I said it off the top, but I don't think it is, thinking. This is definitely not the weirdest show I've ever done. I've done cancer benefits at 3 a.m. as people are doing like relay laps around. So like you'd have to set up a joke and wait for them to come around to finish it. I literally went on stage one time 30 seconds after a Syrian refugee read a poem that made everyone cry. So this is not the weirdest. This is probably one of the most safest shows I've ever felt, because I feel like whatever I say I'm not going to get in trouble for. I did a show a couple years ago at this place called the Evandale Resort. And when you hear resort in your head, you get excited. Like, I get excited when they're like, hey, we're going to a resort. I was like, oh, shit, that's awesome. They probably got water pillows and water slides, and they got mints on the pillows. And that's how bougie it is. They got water pillows, too. It's very hard to fall asleep. But they probably got mints on the pillows, and they do. Got mints on the pillows. Not on purpose, though. It was totally by accident. I went to the Evandale Resort, and as soon as I got there, I was like, oh, no, this place is the fucking Shining. Like, it's a miserable place to be. It's not what you expect it to be when you hear resort. It's the exact opposite. Fun fact, everything about the Avondale Resort I can tell you is also the town's grocery store, convenience store, restaurant, and bar. The only form of entertainment at the Avondale Resort is a 24-hour ferry that goes over from one island of nothing to this island of nothing in bumfuck nowhere's New Brunswick. We did the show there. Everything went normal. Everything kind of went fine. Afterwards, one of the comics was like, hey, man, you want to go grab a drink? I'm like, yeah, man, let's go to a bar. So we get up and we go in the next room, and we start drinking. And as we're drinking, like most shows, afterwards, the drunkest person at the show usually wants to come over and, like, talk to you. At the Avondale Resort, the drunkest person at the show is the waitress. Now, she comes over to me. She starts talking to me first because, surprise, surprise, the Avondale Resort does not have a lot of black people there. So she starts talking to me, and as she's talking to me, it's a fine, decent. I'm nodding and being nice. I don't want to get stabbed. Here's all you need to know about this woman: is she had a tattoo on her right arm that said "R.I.P. Dirty D." I don't know if that's like a New Year's resolution or for a dead friend, but I was too scared to ask. If you're ever there, maybe you can find out. As she's talking to me, she can kind of feel the conversation dying. She goes to get up to leave, but before she leaves, she stops and goes, "Hey, I just want you to know, I'm down with the blacks." I don't know how to respond. I don't know what to do. I don't want to get hurt, so I just like give her the black power fist and like, right on, sister, thank you for the support. Like she wants me to tell people at the next meeting. I don't know how to deal with this shit. But she goes to walk away. Before she goes to walk away, she stops and goes, "You want to know why, though, right?" No. But I need a new 5 minutes, so yeah. So I'm like, why? And she goes, duh, it's because of those big dicks. And then she just walks off. Now, that's fine. That's literally the least offensive stereotype there is out there. Is black guys got big dicks. I'm half black, so does shit all for me. But other than that, I mean, listen, for a white dude, I'm fucking killing it. That's I know we're on the internet right now, but any of you guys watching, I whip it out. I'm gonna embarrass at least half of you. I'm confident there. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna put you in a wheelchair. I might give you crutches. I'm your Negro starter kid. I'm Black Cock 101. With me, you can go back. You'll just have a craving. I'm like a donaire that way. Now, she walked away. I'm like, this is amazing. I got to write this down. This is going in my act. As I'm writing it down, she comes back again. She goes, I want to tell you one more thing. And I'm like, no, please don't ruin this moment we've just had. You've given me this great piece of gold. Don't ruin this joke. And she's like, no, I just want you to know that all this right here, all this, fixed. What the fuck did you just? What do you just say? Fixed like a dog? You're neutered. You're like a Bob Barker Price is Right. So what the hell do you mean? Don't show me, but tell me. You've messed up. You got scars? Don't show me, but tell me. She's just like, yep, all this right here, just an empty playpen. Oh God. Oh, how'd you make it worse? How the hell did you make it? It's like the saddest Rugrats episode. We've been together a year now. That's, by the way, that's not my girlfriend. That's I have to go re-quarantine with her after the show, and I will let everyone know that is not my current girlfriend. That is never my girlfriend. I don't got a tattoo on my arm that says RP Dirty V or any shit like that. That's not. I have a girlfriend. She's very nice. She's very sweet. She's the exact opposite of Avondale Resort Girl. I'm quarantining with her right now, which is hard because we've been together a year, but I still can't poop in front of her. That's. I don't mean like literally in front of her. Like, you're gonna make eye contact with me. Watch. Like I've always been weird when it comes to bowel. I've not, like, when we had the hurricane in September, I literally found an excuse to go outside so I could fart in the hurricane because I was like locked up with her. And I was like, I can't fart in front of her. I've always been weird when it comes to that. I've never been able to poop in public. When I say poop in public, I don't mean like on a lawn like a dog. I just mean I've never been able to go into like any private washroom establishment. And I've been weird like that my whole life. I tried once. I really gave it a shot. I wanted to be like normal like everyone else. Thank you. I tried to be normal like everyone else. When I was in college, I lived in Toronto, and I know it's a god awful place. It's the only place a homeless woman has ever spit in my mouth, and 6 months ago that would have got me a death sentence. But like that's literally how they welcome you there. This woman literally walked. I wasn't planning on saying this, but this woman walked up to me and she went, "The world has AIDS, and on AIDS the spit flu." That's literally the worst word you can get spit into your mouth on is AIDS. If she said hello and spit, it would have been bad. But like AIDS, I'm like, I gotta write a will now. So yeah, fuck Toronto, but I miss it at the same time. It's a weird relationship I got with T.O. But I was going to school in Toronto, and I used to have to convert 3 hours by bus between school and home. And there was one day I was like, I really got to use the washroom. And I remember something my grandmother said to me. She said, Travis, you're a 20-year-old man. If you got a shit, take a shit. You're doing damage to yourself. And I said, thank you for the words of advice, Grandma. And I was like, yeah, I got to do this. I got to go. I got to man up. I got to go poop. So I went to a Subway restroom. Now, when I say Subway restroom, I don't mean like the delicious sandwich shop. I mean like the sad underground railroad where homeless people sleep. Right? Terrible situation. Kill those people. No, that's a joke. That's the fucking going on there. Relax. Treat homeless people nice. I don't know how this PR is going to be for you guys, but this is like, I don't got anything coming up. So I go to the Subway washroom and I do my business. And as I'm doing, I'm like, this isn't the worst. You know, I think I can probably do this again if push comes to shove. But as I'm finishing up, I get a weird feeling over me. And as I'm taking a final wipe, I go, there's something odd here. And I look, and staring down up at me from underneath the next stall is a homeless crackhead. Now, he sees me, and we lock eyes. And for too long, we just stare at each other without saying a goddamn word. As we're looking at each other, I was hoping, like, in that moment, like, my black guy voice would come out, where, like, I'd see him, and I'd be like, yo, dog, you need to back the fuck up. That's in me. That's, like, I can scare a motherfucker when I need to, right? I was hoping that would come out, but instead I just saw him, and I went, oops, sorry, and then I just left. I didn't wash my goddamn hands, which is the most terrifying part of that story in 2020. So I'm trying to be better. I've always had weird. I hate the washroom. The one fun thing about this now is I know I can safely perform, and I know none of you had to hire a babysitter for tonight, which is nice. Which is good. My grandmother used to watch this kid, and I hated having him in the house just because we weren't related to him. We weren't family or anything. He was a little 3-year-old kid. And I get very nervous around children because they can die so easily. And so I was always nervous around this kid. We had no blood relation to him. He's not a family friend. Like, it was a Kijiji ad being like, take this kid. My grandma said, well, I'll do it. So she was doing that. But one day I was downstairs minding my own business. She came down. She's like, hey, can you watch this little boy for me? I got to go pick up your brother. I said, I don't feel really comfortable doing that. He's not my responsibility. No. And she's like, please, can you do it? He's asleep. You don't need to worry about anything. I'll be gone 30 minutes. I'll come right back. You just make sure he doesn't drown in his sleep or whatever. And I'm like, cool, fine, I'll do it. And she goes to leave, and 30 minutes later, this kid sits up like he's the fucking Undertaker, and then looks at me and goes, I gotta poop. At which point I'm like, oh, I'm going to jail today. I don't know how to deal with this. I was like, I can't change a baby. It's not my baby. I'm a fucking 6-foot tall black man. I'm not good. They're not even gonna ask questions with this shit. So he gets up and he runs to the washroom, and I go, oh, thank God, he knows how to poop. I'm in the clear. I'm safe. And then, thank you. Clearly, you guys don't have kids because I didn't know what was coming next. Couple minutes later, I just hear, I'm done. And I'm like, cool, man, wipe, wash, get out. And he goes, I can't. I'm like, oh, you need toilet paper? You need some TP? I'll give you TP. Remember when you could just hand people toilet paper? Remember when you just had that shit on hand? See, topical stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Shuffling the shot. My foot is killing me. Take another drink. Do you need toilet paper? He goes, no. I don't know how. I was like, what do you mean you don't know how? I don't know how to wipe. Ellie usually does it for me. Ellie's my grandmother. I go, Ellie's not here. He goes, well, I guess it's your turn. This kid's very articulate for someone who doesn't know how to wipe their own ass. I go, okay, man, and I start walking towards there, and then I can't do it. I make this kid sit on the toilet for an hour until my grandmother comes home. I'm not touching some strange little white boy's ass. Are you nuts? I'm not gonna. Fuck that. That's not even going to ask questions. They're going to shoot me on sight. Like, I'm not going to do that. I don't need this kid in the shower 10 years from now being like, did a strange black man touch my butt? I don't need that thought ever to pop into his head. So, I'm trying to entertain him and stuff and all that jazz. And as I'm doing it, I'm sock puppeting, being like, hey, buddy, hang in. We're going to be okay. And as I'm sock puppeting, I got my hand through the door. I can't see anything. I just hear him giggle, and then I hear some liquid hit my hand. Immediately, I start gagging. I think he shit and threw it on my hand like a fucking monkey or a woman at Tim Hortons. And as he does that, I start panicking. I realize it's just hand cream, but it was enough to get me to start crying because my grandmother comes home an hour later, me in tears, and this kid laughing his goddamn ass off. My grandmother calls me a pussy, pushes me out of the way, and starts wiping wipes him down, gets everything all settled. As everything's finished up and calming down, the kid gets up to the toilet, looks at my grandmother, and goes, "Travis wouldn't touch my butt." At which point I bent down and I said, "You tell every fucking person you know that." So far so good. I've not gone to jail. Thank you for that. I don't know if you guys know. I think dating's got to be really weird now. Thankfully, I'm out of that goddamn world. I think dating's got. I don't know if anyone's going on like quarantine Tinder dates or not. But I don't know if you guys remember before all this stuff, like if you wanted to meet someone face to face, you'd have to go to a bar. You have to go and talk to them. I was never good at that stuff. That's why I'm so glad now that I have a girlfriend. I don't have to worry about that stuff. I was someone who always needed a wingman when we go out. And here's the thing about wingmen. They stink. Don't get them. Don't ever get a wingman. They're the worst people alive. Why? Because it's literally just taking a normal ass man and putting wing in front of it. That's all it is. It's nothing cool. No one's got a PhD in pussy. No one's the doctor of getting laid. Any guy who's thinks I know how to score women, he doesn't. He's not been touched in 8 years. That's a miserable person to be. Don't trust him. And I don't here's why. If you want to get a wing person, get a wing woman. That's your ticket to getting it. That's like having a cover letter for the job you're applying for. That is so much better than your shitty jam covered resume. Because a wing woman is listen, he's a sweet guy, he's ready to settle down, he loves his mom, nice stuff, and a wingman's he's got a big dick, what's up with your friend? And then he'll try to fuck the person he's helping you get. That's not fuck those people, they're the worst. I hated wingman. I don't even like being a wingman myself because I don't like lying for my friends. I can't. I get a guilty conscience. If they say something that's untrue, I'm like, nah, not at all true. I was out one time and I ran into my buddy Mitchell, and I use the term buddy lightly because every time I run into Mitchell, some dumb shit happens. Literally, me and Mitchell just went to high school together and we ran in the same circles. That's the extent of our buddiness. We're friends on Facebook. If you're watching Mitchell, hey buddy, how you doing? It's supposed to be our 10-year reunion. I don't think that's happening. So I'll give you an example. Here's the best case scenario when I run into Mitchell. New Year's Eve, a few years ago, after a party, me and another buddy were like, let's get some McDonald's. Let's start the year off right. It's 2012. The world's supposed to end. And then 2020's like, no, buddy, wait a bit. So we go to McDonald's. And as we go to McDonald's, we just see Mitchell standing outside the door, trying to get in. The door is clearly locked. Mitchell turns around and goes, "Fucking lock, bud." Didn't even say hi or acknowledge that it was us. He just said, "Fucking lock, bud." And I was like, yeah, Mitchell, that makes sense. We used to mess up that place a lot in high school. They don't open till 5 a.m. anymore. So we try to go around to the drive-thru. They see that we're not in a car, and they go, "Listen, guys, we can't serve you. You know, in the vehicle. Happy New Year, whatever." And we go to leave. And as we go to leave, I get this weird boost of drunk inspiration. I'm like, "No, boys, we're getting McDonald's tonight." And then I uttered words I've never uttered in my life. I went, "Boys, formation." I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what I was trying to rally, but for some reason on this night, all the stars aligned. They knew exactly what I meant, and we all lined up like we were in an invisible car, and then we just went back around to the drive-thru and literally stopped, hit a break. I took my seatbelt off to order. We got out there. We got our food. They were that impressed with us. That's the nicest story I have with Mitchell. Fast forward to this moment. I run into Mitchell, and Mitchell's flirting with this girl. And mid-flirt, he goes, "You know, me and Travis just got back from Afghanistan." The fuck we did. I don't go barefoot at the beach because I might step on glass. I'm not man enough for like I told you, World War III, we're done. I can't fight for a country that couldn't make Target work. Fuck that. There's not a lot here worth saving. So I even immediately tense up this is not going well. Girl kind of believes him. Her friend does not believe Mitchell at all. Knows Mitchell's full of shit. Mitchell's 5-something. There's no way he's a little army man. She goes, "Oh yeah? My buddy Schmitty just got back from Afghanistan." In that moment, Mitchell should know, we've been spotted, soldier. Fall back. Abort mission. Mitchell, nope, not one to run away from a fight, leans in and goes, ha, fucking Schmitty. Always causing trouble in those foxholes. No, he's not, Mitchell. He doesn't exist. He's not a person. There's no one named Schmitty in the year 2013 at this point. There's no one in a modern war named Schmitty. World War II airplane mechanic? Maybe. But there's no one in Afghanistan or Iraq named fucking Schmitty. I grab Mitchell. I throw him in a cab. That should be the end of that story. But I'm with Mitchell, and it's not. So now that I'm with Mitchell, we're in a cab. We're on our way back to Sackville. On our way back there, we have this amazing cab driver. He's this old African man. And he's telling us this story about like how he immigrated to Canada. He's telling this really deep TED talk that he should not be telling a bunch of drunk 20-something-year-olds. But like he's telling us, they're all drunk and white and not listening. I'm the one black guy, so I'm trying to represent. I'm like, oh yeah, man, I get it, man. Wakanda forever, Hakuna Matata, all that jazz. Like I'm trying to like sympathize with him as he's telling this story about like escaping genocide and watching his own sister. Like it's heavy stuff. It's really heavy stuff. As he's midway through the story, it's very sad. As he's midway through the story, all of a sudden Mitchell just goes, You okay, man? You all right? Yeah, dude, I'm fine. I'm going, He's talking about his dead sister, Mitchell. Don't you fucking puke. I swear to God, I'll hit you with a stone cold stunner if you puke in this goddamn... Nah, dude, I'm fine. Cab driver hears it and goes, white boy. You didn't know Mitchell's name. White boy. Please do not puke in my cab. Mitchell's going, I swear to God, Chief, I won't, man. White boy, I beg of you, please do not vomit in my cab. I swear to... Cab driver finally goes, if you must regurgitate... I don't care how progressive and open-minded you are. When you're really drunk and someone says a big word in a funny accent, you're going to laugh 9 times out of 10. I'm black and I know that shit's funny. If you must regurgitate, there's the bag under the seat. Grab the bag, vomit in that. And Mitchell goes, thank you so much, thank you. And he grabs a bag. Now, what the cab driver didn't say, nor should he have to say, is that there was 2 bags under the seat. An empty bag and a bag that wasn't empty. Common sense says, hey, take the empty bag. Mitchell has many things in his life now. He's a wife. He's a child. I don't think he still has common sense. He grabs a bag. I hear a bunch of stuff clinking it. I go, oh no. But before I can stop him, I just hear him go, ugh. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard vomit hit Tupperware before. But you don't need to recognize it immediately because I went, oh, that's the motherfucker's lunch. And he does that. He vomits in it. Cab driver hears it. He recognizes the sound. He does the saddest pullover I've ever seen in my life. The meter literally stopped running. This man slowly pulled over, took a deep breath, got out of the cab, starts pacing back and forth. I'm totally ready for him to kill both of us. He swings open the van door. He looks at Mitchell, looks at what was his lunch, and that Mitchell has lost his lunch on his lunch, and then looked up at me and went, this motherfucking country. 2 minutes ago, he was talking about running away from click choppings and lions, and now he's homesick for the Hotel Rwanda. Just, son of a bitch. Like, he's so upset. And I knew he was wanting Mitchell to get in trouble. So I'm like, hey, man, you don't understand. He just got back from Afghanistan. He saw some shit with his buddy Schmitty. That's worth taking a drink for. Oh, God, this is this is more fun than I think it should be. Like, literally the day before, I'm going to break the fourth wall. Literally the day before you guys asked me to do this, I was like, I'll never do a fucking live stream comedy show. And then you guys asked me, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta get on stage again. I missed it too much. Like, so this is, cheers for that's very well. Listen, if I was Chappelle, you'd be here for another 4 hours. So, like, thankfully, as soon as this hits 60, I'm getting out of here. We're already halfway there. So if you're still watching, if you started watching, thank you so much. This is actually really cool, and I appreciate the shit out of it. In this weird time that we live in, I am what people call a millennial, and because I was born before 95. I think a lot of people think millennials are younger than they are. If you're born after 95, you're a Gen Xer or Gen Z, whatever the fuck you are. You don't matter. No one's talking about you. It's millennials and boomers and whatever was in the middle of that. You don't matter, children. You do. We're trying to save the planet for you, but apparently we need a pandemic to get it done. I feel like it's weird now. I don't see a lot of PSAs on TV, like anything. Well, now it's like, wash your hands and don't hug your grandmother. But like growing up, I feel like millennials were kind of screwed because I feel like our PSAs were not like the same as everyone else. Like in the 70s, it was like, hey, don't litter. you'll make old Native American men cry. In the 80s was like Pee Wee Herman telling you not to do crack. And then like for us in the 90s, it was like, you see that on the ground? Yeah. Do you know what it is? No. Don't eat it. Like that's, I don't know how dumb 90s kids were, but like, I feel like we got the shit end of everything else being like, hey, stay away from hard drugs. And then it was like, hey, you see that Cheeto under the couch? Don't fucking touch it unless your mom says it's okay. Like, all we had was, don't you put it in your mouth. And like that's, we were raised by don't put it in your mouth. And then we were the generation that had 16 and pregnant. We put it in your mouth. If it anything. If I can tell the kids for that PSA. I'm getting text. So I'm going to see, I'm just going to read a text. Why not? I'm getting them live. This is my comment section.
They don't say anything bad about my laugh tracking abilities.
You're killing it. No, it's my girlfriend. She saw me throwing a line that I've not done yet. She got the approval. That's all I need. That's all. I don't care what anyone else says. I think it is weird though, because like we care so much about like we say we care about kids, but I don't think we do. We're more worried about them vaping than like gun violence, and then like we're at their dumb shit. Like I don't know if you guys saw this was fairly recent. This was like literally before COVID became like the only news on TV. There was a thing going on. People were mad because they're remaking Cinderella for like the 1 millionth time. And they're mad because in this version, they're going to have a gender-neutral fairy godmother. I didn't know I'm doing this joke in churro. It was a gender-neutral fairy godmother, and then like the internet freaked out. Here's the thing. They're not calling it fairy godmother. The character's name is just called Fab G. And if you're black, you probably got a gay uncle named that. So, I mean, that's nothing taken away from there. But everyone was like, there's this one guy who goes, no, man, how are you going to have a gender-neutral fairy godmother? There's no such thing as a gender-neutral fairy godmother. There's no such thing as a godmother or a fairy godmother at that. There's no such thing as a fairy godmother. Like, there was the same argument people had with Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid in the Disney remake is going to be black, and everyone's like, can't have black mermaids. Black mermaids don't exist. Nigga, mermaids don't exist. It's none of those things. It's fiction. It doesn't. The most unrealistic thing about a black mermaid is that there's a black woman willing to have her hair wet that long. That's as far as that shit goes. Crazy times we live in. I like this little break because it means it's too hard for people to fuck up right now because we're all at home. I don't know if you saw in New York, up in upper New York in like Rochester area, the KKK, this whole thing, was trying to recruit children. I know, heartbreaking. They were trying to recruit children with little bags of candy. It was a little chocolate bar and then like a pamphlet in there being like, eat the candy, white power sweet, join us. Like it was like some shit like that. And they were trying to get kids to join the KKK that way. And at first when you read that, I'm like, oh, we got to shut this shit down. And I really sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, no, let's see how it plays out. Let's see what happens. Because like, if you eat Halloween's mini-sized chocolate bar and immediately like, you know what? Fuck you, Jamal. You were never really on my team to begin with. Like, you were never really on my side. You're willing to jump ship that quick where you just, like, eat a Butterfingers and you're like, fuck Asian people. Like, you're not on my team there. Go on. Be a racist dummy. Here's the thing. They were trying to lure kids in with Snickers Bars. And here's the thing about a Snickers bar, in my all knowledge of white people, is a lot of you guys got nut allergies. Right? And one thing I know for certain is no one on the planet has more goddamn nut allergies than white people, and you guys are these people are giving out literally the nuttiest fucking chocolate bar on planet Earth. If nothing, we're just thinning the herd of racist people if these kids eat these chocolate bars. We're making black people stronger. I don't know one goddamn Tyrone that can't eat an almond. I know 10 fucking Kyles that treat peanut butter like it's IED. Like they panic like it's a goddamn bomb. Fucking here, have a Snickers. You're not racist when you're hungry. Go for it. Crazy time we live in. I'm so glad that I graduated before promposals were a thing. This was something I saw in the news before all this stuff broke out, that in Ottawa there was a promposal that was apparently racist, and I see apparently very loosely because it was 100% racist. This person brought the sign in, and it was a sign that read, it had a bunch of cotton balls around it, so we're off to a bad start. and a bunch of cotton balls around it, and then just read, "If I was black, I'd be picking cotton." Exactly. That was the best time one you've had. Because it's the most realistic it's ever been. This is the real shit. If I was black, I'd be picking cotton. But I'm white, so I'm picking you for prom. And like, yeah, that's fucked up. That's racist. It's offensive. It's also, worst of all, wrong. It's incorrect. It's not a real thing. Listen to the sign. What it said. It said, if I was black, I'd be picking cotton. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't be picking. We haven't done that job in almost 200 years that we've been out of that business. It's not a topical sign. It's old racism, which bugs me. You're shitting on my great-grandfather, not me. That's if you're gonna be on the wrong side of history, be right. Like if you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna be racist, be good at it. Like don't be a shitty Like if that sign says something more topical, I could be like, that's fucked up. But like if that sign says something more like of the times where it's like, if I was black, I'd probably be shot by the cops. But I'm white, so I'll take a shot and cop a feel at prom. I'm like, goddamn, you creepy little white motherfucker. That's accurate. Fuck you. But now we can have a discussion. Like, I'm just looking for growth, guys. It's so weird. We want to say we care about kids, and we don't. I think we care about kids in the wrong way. I know that we're going to make healthier choices now for children. This is one thing I saw that we got to get rid of. I saw that McDonald's has bagel Happy Meals now. Fuck that. Why do you have a bagel? That's an oxymoron. One, no one's ever been happy having a bagel for a meal. That's like a 3 a.m. drunk. This will stop the hangover. This will soak up all the poison kind of meal. This is not something to give to your McDonald's used to be a treat, and that's what I thought it could still be. You can still have a healthy diet and go to McDonald's. Like it used to be like, oh, you got a good grade in your report card. Let's get a cheeseburger. Oh, you cleaned your room. Let's have some McNuggets. You blaming your kid for your divorce? Why are you giving him a bagel hat? Why are you punishing that child? You're giving him emotional blue balls. Because he's like, oh, we're going to McDonald's. Dope. Going to get toys and cheeseburgers. Then you're like, here's a bagel and some apple. Not even fries. Apple slices and milk. Like, this is the most disgusting meal I've ever seen. Your 8-year-old have a heart attack? Why is he eating this goddamn hospital food? Treat him better than that. Going to McDonald's for a bagel is like going to like a brothel for a hug. Just stay home and jerk off. You'll be much happier, and everyone wins. Like it's such a dumb thing. We live in a weird time. I do miss going out for food in restaurants and being able to do that stuff. I miss people watching. People watching is fun. Now when you watch people, it's like you count them to make sure they're not in too many groups. But like I miss people. Like probably my favorite moment ever happened in a Subway in St. John, New Brunswick, where is the most unlikely of places. But the magic happened. And I refuse to ever go back to the Subway because it happened, and I don't ever want to tarnish this memory of Subway for me. I was in St. John, New Brunswick, and I was in between waiting for a show to start, so I went to go get some dinner beforehand. As I go in, there's this couple ahead of me. Now, I don't want to be rude or politically incorrect. There's something a little off about them. I don't know if they're from like Miramichi or somewhere so fucked up like that. Something a little different about these people. But they go inside to order, and as soon as they started speaking, I knew immediately I'm not leaving this store until they do. The boyfriend looks at the girlfriend and goes, "What kind of sub you want, babe?" Now, anyone else would go, I think I'll get, and then they'll say the sub they want. This girl went, and then she started to list off every sub she's ever had at Subway in her life, when and where, and then whether or not she would like it, like Tinder style. She went, Subway Club, 2003 birthday party. Nope. Sweet onion chicken teriyaki, 2012 after school. Nope. My favorite, ham. 2009, after her bird died. She didn't feel right getting chicken or turkey that day. Take a drink. She decides on the new, at the time, new steak and mushroom melt. No mushrooms. Great sub. But listen, steak and mushroom melt, no mushrooms. Bitch, that's a regular everyday steak, 2006. You've already said you had it and said no. She decides on that. She goes to order. Behind the counter is the world's oldest and most Filipino woman I've ever seen in my life. Now, I don't know when the last time any of you have been to St. John, New Brunswick, or if you're in St. John, New Brunswick. Exactly. It's not a real cultural melting pot, if you will. There's white people and when I'm in town. So when I saw this really old Filipino woman, I was like, God damn, what Freaky Friday situation with a nursing student has just happened? So she's ordering. She gets her third favorite bread, the steak and mushroom melt, not melted. 4 drinks. Gets to the veggies. Once she gets to the veggies, most people go, I'll get some of this, a lot of that, little of this. She lists off the number of every single vegetable she wants. 5 tomatoes. 12 green onions. 12 green peppers. 10 onions. 6 pickles. 4 olives. 4 fucking I don't know when the last time you've been or had Subway, but the olives are cut into quarters. 4 olives is one goddamn olive, and this woman spreads it out on a foot-long sub. Just every 3 inches. Huh? That's the most English this woman knows. All her English ends in question marks. Toasted, combo, what's up? Hard way, I learned that what's up is what's up and not what's up, because when it was my turn, she went, what's up? And I went, not much, you. And then she just blinked at me for 3 minutes. So she gets all her combo stuff, gets it untoasted, all the veggies on it. Boyfriend's paying. She gets her combo cup, goes to fill up. By this point, I have tears running down my face, and I'm texting all my friends like I'm in a hostage situation, like, you're not going to believe this goddamn shit. Filipino woman's checking the guy out, ringing him out. She's filling up her pop. As she's filling up the pop, she's filling it up with every single flavor of pop. At which point, she looks at me and goes, swamp water. At which point, if I acknowledge her, I'm going to throw up. So I just give her the black power fist and nod and go back to the text to my friends like, you're not going to believe this shit. As the boyfriend's paying, he's no less awkward than her. He looks at the cashier and goes, you know, I like Buddha. What the fuck? One, here's a fun fact for you. She's Filipino. Chances are she's more Christian or Catholic than she is Buddhist. She doesn't believe in Buddha. I was like taken aback. Girlfriend was obviously taken back too because she storms over. And then she was mad, but not for the same reason as me. She wasn't mad because he said I'm offensive. She was mad because she considered what he said flirting. She walks over to him, smacks the cup and cookies out of his hand. Macadamia nuts and M&Ms go everywhere. She storms out. He starts picking up these crumbs. As he's doing that, I, again, am hyperventilating and have tears going down my face. This woman looks at me, accent completely gone, and goes, every day. That was perfect. Thank you. That was the art's coming together now. We got a real show going. Oh man. Yeah. Oh wow. This is actually flown, which means I can get rid of stuff I don't want to do. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Now I feel like I'm ready to show. Like I said, I have a girlfriend. Before this girlfriend, I had another girlfriend, and with quarantine, I've had a lot of time on my hands, and I'm not saying you should do this. I think it's unhealthy for relationships to compare previous relationships with current ones. I think that's a dangerous thing to do. But this is all I had for a job, and guess what? I'm not working right now. So I've had a lot of time to sit and think and compare the two, and I've only come with these similarities. They're very different people. But one, my last girlfriend was white. This girlfriend is also white. And you're probably saying, yeah, Travis, this is Halifax. There's a lot of white people here. Chances are you're probably going to fuck a couple. And you're right. Yeah, I have. And I got a weird thing when it comes to dating all the black people. I feel like I'm related to every black person. And you can't have an NBA player with webbed feet. So I gotta stick to... Thank you for that acknowledgement. Fuck incest, right? The second thing they had in common was my last girlfriend really liked Diet Coke. And this girlfriend also really liked Diet Coke. And it's a popular drink. That's why they still make it. Which is what normal people would say. But since I'm such a psycho, I'm like, why is it? Why is it that white women that like Diet Coke like me? Why is that? Because I'm only half black, right? So like in my head, I'm like, am I their Diet Coke? Am I like, we've had Coca-Cola Classic. It was a little much for us. We want to settle back on the sweetness. I don't get a funny aftertaste, but I mean, there's some things there. I was like, oh, I don't know. Here's the thing: I'm just such a psycho in my head. I'm feeling like I'm gonna come home one day. She's drinking Coke Zero, and I'm like, bitch, who you fucking? I don't want to panic like that. I almost burned her house down. I didn't see her drink Dr. Pepper or anything. I was trying to cook her a nice meal. I'm a sweet boy that way. I was trying to cook her a nice eggplant parm. I'm a dope cook. But I used the wrong oil to fry the eggplant in. Caused a lot of... I know. Happens to us all, right? You been there. This guy knows what I'm talking about. Take a drink. As I'm doing it, smoke alarm goes off, and she comes home from work, opens up her door, smoke goes into her apartment hallway, and it sets off the building's fire alarm. Now, unlike a smoke alarm in your house, which for 20 minutes just goes, this is the building's fire alarm, which is like an actual like school fire drill and does not turn off until the fire department shows up. So immediately as soon as this happens, I start panicking. I start like walking back and forth and pacing, and I'm sweating. And my girlfriend, very sweet, trying to like calm me down, be like, "Hey, Travis, relax. It's okay. You're fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen. They're gonna come, turn off. There's no fire. You'll be cool." And like that's very sweet and nice, but that's not why I was goddamn. I wasn't worried for that. I was just worried because here I set off a fire alarm. Now here comes literally a truckload of dudes that are way more fuckable than I am. Come say, I just literally ordered Uber Eats for Dick, and who gives a shit about my eggplant parm at that point, you know? It's weird. Like, she lives in such a great spot that, like that's one of the things I'm like, this relationship's got to work because, like, this place is magic for material. She lives next to, like, an area where kids walk to school in the morning, and you get to listen in on their conversations. I don't know if you guys know this about kids under the age of 12. They're insane, and they're great to listen to at 8 in the morning because when they don't think adults are listening, they say some outlandish shit. There was these two kids walking to school one morning, I was woken up, and one of them goes, "Yo, man, in gym class every day, every time she had the ball," I don't know who the people they were talking about were, there's literally said he and she, every time she had the ball, he was checking out her butt. Pause. No lie. Literally said no lie at that volume at 8 in the morning. Like I was really going to hit the point home that this guy wasn't lying about this ass-looking child. But I just hate to see this kid during like a test, you know, like doing like, you know, like a true or false question, like true or false. John A. McDonald was the first prime minister of Canada. True. No lie. And there's like, goddamn Darius, get out of class. You can't be spoiling those test results. It's ridiculous. Like you hear one kid, he's walking to school and it's pajama day. And all the kids were walking to school in their pajamas, and this kid was apparently got halfway to school, and all of a sudden he stops in front of the window, our window, and goes, "Shit, I forgot my PJs." Which, like, first of all, I don't know how you forget something you got to wake up in. Like, literally, you went to bed dressed for school the next morning, and this guy got up and like got into regular clothes. Clearly, this is not like an A+ student. He goes, "Shit, I forgot my PJs," and then after a long silence, he goes, "I need a chai tea." The fuck you do? You're 8 years old. You don't need a chai tea. You need a purple nurple and some fruit gushers, motherfucker. The hell do you need a chai tea for? Go to McDonald's. Get a bagel Happy Meal, you creep. No child wants that shit. My favorite one, though, came from not even from a kid. It came from a parent. Now, I'm going to preface this, hopefully, because you're in the safety of your own home. When I do this, when I do the impression of this woman, you'll feel okay laughing at it. Because when I do it at a live show, I see people get very tensed up and they get uncomfortable. And here's why. Because I'm going to do an impression of this woman, and the moment I do the impression of her, you're going to recognize this woman. And if you're in public, you're like, I feel bad, I feel guilty for recognizing. You're 100% right on what this woman looked like. It's very early in the morning. Her kid is running up ahead, way up ahead before she can walk, and she's trying to chase him. And this is how she calls him back. She goes, "Damon!" Which right there, you're like, I think I know what this woman looks like. She goes, "Damon, get back here. You making my titties bounce." Now, I know some of you are like, "Oh, I haven't watched Maury in a while." I know you are 100% right on what this woman looks like. Don't feel bad. Don't feel it's not offensive. It's just sadly true. This woman, she goes, "Get back here. You making my titties bounce." And I feel like that is literally the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I want, if I can give you one thing during this time of quarantine, that is when your kids leave and are able to leave the house again, if you want them back for dinner, fuck streetlights, say you're making a titty bounce, that kid will come back quick, like real fast. That's more parent advice than it is an actual joke. I'm just looking out for the goodness of people in this world. There we go. I gotta say this. This has been fun and wild. Comedy is my favorite thing to do. It's almost all I've ever wanted to do. There's a couple things I wanted to do before. This was not always the career goal to do stand up. I used to want to be no one follows the dream. Like, there's people here. Like, what did you want to be when you were growing up? Like, I'm literally talking to you. Basketball player. You didn't become a basketball player. You didn't follow that dream, but you wanted to. What did you want to be growing up? No. No, you didn't want to grow up at all. You just want to live in well, you've both failed exponentially on that. And I get that. I didn't want to be, this was not the first goal. Growing up, I used to want to be the Easter Bunny. I know, it's a thankless job to have, but it's less stress. Here's how I looked at it. I was like, well, I could be Santa Claus, but I was like, that's a lot of pressure. If you fuck that up, you ruin a kid's life. Like, Easter is like diet Christmas. If you mess it up, Christmas is around the corner to get things fixed. I was like, I want to be the Easter Bunny. Let me be the, but I didn't know how you became the Easter Bunny. There's no ads on Kijiji. I don't know who the CEO of Easter, I think it's Jesus, but I don't know who runs Easter. But then one day when I was home, I was about like 4 years old, I saw this Cadbury cream egg commercial. And in the commercial, there's a rabbit in a nest, and he bucks like a chicken, and then he hops away, and there's eggs. And I was like, oh, Easter Bunny lays eggs. I could probably do that. So that Easter rolls around. We find all the Easter eggs in my house. As we find them, once we find them all, I grab a handful, and when no one's looking, I walk to the washroom. And I close the door. By this point, I know there's probably some people out there that know where I'm going with this. Give me credit that at like 4 or 5, okay, I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. Give me credit. I was like, this is a little fucked up. I need to do this in private. So I go to the washroom with my handful of eggs, lock the door, pull down my pants, and I know, right? Trying to make dreams happen for myself. I proceed to shove 5 Easter eggs in my asshole, just hopping down the bunny trail. Here comes Peter. Here's how you know it's a repressed memory. Until I wrote this joke, I forgot that song existed. When I say I put eggs in my butt, I don't mean like the big plastic ones. I mean the tiny little tinfoil ones. You gotta crawl before you can hop. And I get them in there. I load up, and then I go, well, time to deliver. And I proceed to shoot 5 Easter eggs into the tub, just boom, 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 boom. And I laugh my ass off for 10 minutes because 27 years on this planet, it's the funniest thing I've ever done. Now, I do that. Thank you. I realize, well, the Easter Bunny has to deliver eggs to a lot of boys and girls. He probably needs stamina. So I gear up for round 2. As I gear up for round 2, I get about 3 eggs deep. And there's a knock on the door, and it's my mother. And my mom goes, can you come outside? The cops are here. What crime have I just committed? In my head immediately, I'm like, oh no, I was shoving eggs in my ass. And God was like, not on my son's rebirthday. And he called the cops on me, little snitch. So I panic. I open up the door, and I just start waddling down the hallway with 3 eggs in my ass, Green Mile style. And realize I'm probably going to prison now. But what happened? I turn the corner, and my brother's at the bottom of the steps. My little brother, he's about 4 years younger than me. And he goes, that's him. Arrest him. Now, immediately I realized my brother didn't see me shoving eggs in my ass. What happened earlier in the day was me and him got into an argument. And growing up, when me and him would get in an argument, me being 4 years older, I'd always pretend to call the cops on him. I go, listen, Brady, behave yourself, or I'll call the cops on you like I did my last little brother, and they'll come take you away. And then he'd be like, oh, chill, nigga, I'll be fine. Like, he's like, cool with it, and he'd calm down. But when I was in the washroom shoving eggs in my butt, he's like, this is my Rosa Parks moment. I'm going to beat him to a punch. He picked up the phone, dialed 911, and as he called 911, they answer, and of course, because he's like 2 years old, they're like, 911, what's your emergency? He goes, and they go, well, we got a massive head trauma. We got an attempt at murder here. So 2 cop cars come flying to my house. As they come to the house, they realize that it's just 2 little boys fighting. I'm standing there, panicking, going to jail. My brother, he starts crying because he realizes this is not an emergency. I'm not going to jail. I start crying because there's eggs in my butt, and they're starting to melt. Cop sees us crying. He wants to calm us down. He goes, hey, boys, listen, relax, fine. Listen, no one's going to jail tonight. 911's emergency only. You don't need to panic. It's fine. No one's going to jail. Just realize if you guys going to fight, go to your mom or your grandmother first. They'll solve problems. And we're like, And then he goes to reach in his pocket, the cop, and then I flinch because it's usually the part where they shoot us. I don't write the news. He reaches his pocket, and he pulls out some Easter eggs. And I didn't know if he's being, like, cheeky, being like, I know there's eggs in your butt. I'm a cop. I can read body language. What we're trying to do. I've been there. We've all had dreams. And he gives me an Easter egg. And he gives my brother an Easter egg. And I go, we go, thank you, sir. And we put those ones in our pocket. And he goes, boys, 911, emergency only. That's when you call the cops. And he turns to leave. As he leaves and I realize I'm not going to jail, I go, oh, thank God. And I relax. As soon as I relax, egg pops out of my butt. Runs down my pajama pant leg, hits the steps. Cop hears it, turns around. Looks down at the egg, looks up at me and goes, is that for me? He bends down, picks it up and goes, I'm going to save this for later. Thanks, boys. Puts it in his pocket and he leaves. Some of you probably watching now are absolutely disgusted. And that's totally fine. And that's cool. But it's somewhere in my heart of hearts, 20 years later, I feel like that was my contribution to Black Lives Matter. Yeah. That's it. We're at an hour. That is, we have gotten here. Thank you so much for watching. I will say this. Thank you, to New Scotland Brewing for having me. This was fun. I've really missed being on stage. If you stuck around and watched or you tuned in at any point, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. For those that are still watching, I'd be remiss if I didn't say in the Halifax comedy community, we did just we lost one of our best comics, Andrew Vaughn. He passed away on March 18th. He has an album out called Too Fat to Go Kart. If you do anything tonight, pop that one on Spotify. Go check that out. I got an album called The Kid Is All Right. So I will raise a toast to the big cat Andrew Vaughn. Please check out his album. Very funny. One of my best friends. And we lost a good one. So thank you guys. Be safe out there. I'd love to do this again sometime if this is still going in 6 months. Okay. Bye.